Hey Reindier, what's up? This is coming from Las Vegas, Nevada, the United States. Um, I have a little notepad open of some of the quick notes I wanted to bring up as a video response to yours. Number one, I'm going to say this is the first time I've ever made a video for YouTube. I would have better equipment to do it with. Unfortunately, a party I had some time ago destroyed my nice computer. However, that was also lesson number one in what I'm dealing with now. Um, this is not to make you feel bad. This is not to make you feel like some of us are better than you or you better than us. I think we're pretty much mostly in the same boat. But for the last 8 or 9 months, I've been in a homeless shelter. I tried building a business, that didn't quite work. Totally blame somebody else, but of course, maybe I could have worked on it better. But anyway, I am now fully employed, full time, by AT&T, American Telegraph and Telephone, or something like that. Anyway, they treat me well so far. I've been employed for a month and a half. I now have my own apartment, no roommates, no help from family, no help from, well, a little bit of help from friends, and a tiny bit of help from family. Um, our family is just not as close knit as others. I also come from a military family, military brat, Air Force brat. I've had the unique opportunity to be outside of this country. My father's job, occupation, security clearance, whatever you want to call it, afforded us the chance to go to a few different places. Not only have we been to a few states out of the US, especially when I became an adult, 18 or older, I moved to a few states myself. I've also had the opportunity, when I had the money, to go other places. That includes Japan, England, and Guam. Those are just three of the countries I want to bring up, or at least places, especially Guam. Not quite a country, but in the middle of the Philippines, I had a chance to go to Manila. So, I mean, that was quite enlightening. Your video about the death penalty, I really don't have any qualms with it. I started watching your videos over a year ago. That's a very modest and safe estimate because I don't remember what I was doing then. But I'm going to respond to some of the things you said, and you're probably going to be a little surprised. Let's just say that whatever I've been drinking a little bit tonight, one of these days maybe I'll share with you. I completely agree that those who should be put to death have taken a life themselves. I mean, anywhere from children to adults. If that life had been taken, that's a life that couldn't be continued, and theirs should stop as payment. Um, at the same time, all life is sacred, but how do you balance it? It's not a real easy decision to make in the first place. I don't know if I could be the one at the lever or holding the plunger for some kind of lethal injection or pulling the trigger of the rifle. I'd really have to not like the circumstances to the murder, and I don't know. Anyway, the other one, child molestation. The only thing I can say is kill him or her. I'm sorry, but the reason why it's called child molestation and child rape is the fact that it's somebody who could not defend themselves. Somebody who is not mentally capable or physically capable to rise up and protect themselves. And that's just wrong. I don't care what belief you have, except for Satanists, at least LaVey Satanists, maybe those who actually believe in and really believe in it, in the fittest survive. Rape. I hate rape. Um, I believe that sex, even between strangers, sex between somebody who's married and not, it's all pretty much a sacred act. And for one person not to consent to it is almost the same as the child molestation case. That they can't defend themselves, they don't know how to defend themselves. And at the same time, even if they did, they're usually overpowered. Again, the same thing with men and women. There have been a couple of instances where somebody I knew learned the very hard way that I protect my friends. And whether those friends are just people that I met for a few minutes or a couple of hours, days, years, if I call them friend, it's for a good reason. And if something like that happened, which it has a couple times, they learned a lesson. It didn't really involve cops, but I'm not going to go into it. Let's just say they learned a very rough lesson. My opinion of the current prison state in the United States is pretty much how you feel. They get 3 square meals a day. Right now, with me moving into my new 2-bedroom apartment, I have no food. I have a couple cans of beans, and I don't have a can opener. I have a couple boxes of stuff that get cooked in a pot or a saucepan, whatever you want to call it. I don't have that either. It was food given to me by people I work with, which are quickly becoming my friends. And while I appreciate it, I can't do anything with it at the moment. I literally only have a quarter in my pocket, maybe less. And the next paycheck that's coming is going straight to rent. So I have to wait another 2 weeks for the check after that before I can even buy anything. In fact, I'm using my cell phone, which I can thank my father for keeping the bill paid for me. I mean, that's the best he could do, but he did it anyway, so I'm able to tether my laptop to it and make this video and upload it. And I just can't stand the fact that I'm paying for somebody sitting on their ass all day and filling up their stomach. Good thing is that I'm not eating a whole lot. I'm able to concentrate on my health. I've lost a lot of weight in the last few months. I'm looking better. I'm feeling a little bit better. So maybe there's a silver lining to it. And the other part I don't like is the fact that they now have, once they enter those bars, they have access to education. I went to high school. I completed it mostly. I dropped out because of several reasons that I'm not going to discuss in this video, but I ended up getting my GED, and then I ended up going to college, decided on a technical vocational school instead of college, so that I could just concentrate on the courses that actually would mean something with the piece of paper that proves to the rest of the world I know what I'm doing. And now I owe several $1,000s because that loan went to default. I don't know if I'll ever be able to pay it off. Right now I'm ignoring it, but we'll see what happens in the next few months. So those who are right now in prison have access to, number one, a lot more than I do. And I don't like the fact that my taxes to my country are going to pay for them to get food, have a bed to sleep on. I sleep on less than an inch of foam, maybe a blanket, and 2 pillows that are so flat that a rock couldn't compress their weight anymore. So yeah, I'm a little bitter about it, but I'm taking it in stride. I'm doing what I can with what I have. I would just prefer the fact that those that I'm paying to be in prison are on their way to death row or on their way out after only being in for a month. I don't mind a very short sentence for somebody who sells weed across the border. I don't mind having a sentence for somebody who decided to beat somebody else up. Yeah, that's a little violent for some tastes, but they didn't kill anybody. And it's something that could have been resolved in the street in the first place between two grown men or two grown women or a grown man and a grown woman who can stand her own and vice versa, whatever. Anyway, I guess the point of this video really boils down to the fact that what you said makes a lot of sense. I believe is completely valid. Um, your fix or fixes are also quite valid. They could be changed a bit, but of course, everybody holds their own little tiny bits of opinion and will use semantics to tear it apart and make it their own. But it works. Um, I also just want to say after this time, all these videos I've watched with the political climate, um, the social climate in the area, keep your courage, man. Keep what you're doing. Keep what you're, reporting. Do it as often as you can. I'm not saying make it your life. You have bread and butter to earn, and that's all I can say. I mean, I would love to be able to send you a couple $1,000s to keep you going, but as you can see, I no longer really have that money anymore. I kind of took that a little for granted. But hopefully, my words don't mean that much, but hopefully at least it strikes a chord and says, hey, you're doing great. You have tons of courage. You're doing more than anybody else in this country is doing. I mean, we're approaching election time, and I'm seeing people spouting party main lines and garbage. People who'd rather vote for the lesser of two evils than not vote at all, which is more important. But just one voice can only add it to all the other voices and hopefully make a change out of that. Same thing with you, man. Keep it up. Do what you're doing. I look forward to seeing more videos. I've made sure my YouTube subscription is going to tell me when you upload. But I hope you sleep well. Hope you keep yourself protected, and peace out. Hope to see you soon.